Hey there, fellow members of the Danger Nation. It is Chris again, and well, this vlog's taking place in my bathroom because I'm not getting really a lot of noise, buffering. My wife is watching TV in our loft in the main room, and she obviously doesn't know when to turn the volume down, but that's okay. I still love her, and with the past kind of weird week we've had, I'm giving her a little slack on that. Well, anyways, the vlog tonight, I want to talk about something that's kind of been really sticking in my craw here the past week, and that is the whole Professor Gates versus Cambridge police situation that has just kind of erupted into a major national issue, and even an international issue in some circles. First off, I'll tell you kind of where I'm coming from in this. Number one, just as disclosure, my father is a former Dallas police officer, 35 plus years on the force, and did just amazing work in that day and time. He retired here a few years ago. He's now living a very comfortable retired life. So my views on police, there are good cops out there, and there are pigs, scumbags, thugs, just as bad as the criminals, some even worse, but not all cops are like that. It takes one bad cop to run it for all the good cops out there. So that's just my thing. Getting on the primary issue at hand here, of course, if you have been following the story, this professor is actually a Cambridge professor, or actually not Cambridge professor, he's a professor, I believe, at Harvard. Professor Gates went into his house, was trying to get into his home, had come from, I think he said, come from out of town, was coming in, his door was locked, he was doing a little jiggery pokery on the back door. That's from my British friends, by the way. And tried to break in his own house because he could. Again, well, what did the neighbors saw? Okay, well, there's this middle-aged black guy breaking into a house in this lily-white neighborhood. We better call the cops. Well, the cops get called, and so on and so forth. You all know what happens next. Now, it became a bit of a national issue when the president stepped in the fray at his news conference last week, his press conference, and pretty much condemned the police department for their actions in this case. Do I think it was a good idea for him to get involved in that? Seeing that Professor Gates is a friend of his, there could be a little nepotism there. But I do understand where he's coming from, and the fact that it is a national issue when it comes to race, especially in America. 50 plus years since the civil rights movement has passed, there is more equality in this country for folks of all colors, creeds, religions, but we still have corners of those areas. Instead of spreading the love and being, passionate and doing the right things, we have a group of various people who are kind of inclusion. For example, I mean, there's a lot of white folks I know, especially being from Texas, and there are a lot of white folks here who fear seeing a black man walk across the street. I mean, they fear seeing a black man and they walk across the street, I should say. I see a lot of some people also about Hispanics, Asians, people that are crippled, gays and lesbians, things like that, and it's just sad. I mean, we are 50 plus years out of the civil rights movement, of the civil rights movement, the history of it, and we still act like this in this country, and it's just a shame. But this is where the story with me gets kind of bothers me a little bit. If you may or may not know, Glenn Beck, he's a syndicated radio show host. He has a program on the Faux News Network. It's faux news, by the way. It's not real news, it's propaganda. Let's just call it what it is. It's right-wing trashing propaganda. Ever since Barack Obama's taken office, they seem to call the man a racist, a bigot. They seem to try to undermine him. And of course, this is the same network that that George Bush did no wrong. And of course, we all know George Bush, in some circles, is considered one of the worst war criminals in the past half century. In some circles, mind you, I'm not saying that. I just say that in some circles. I think the man, without getting too much into the last president, I think he was an idiot, an idiot man-child, I should say, and just somebody who shouldn't have been a leader. This was guy, if 9/11 probably didn't happen, he would have been a one-termer, plain and simple. That's what he would have been. But anyways, getting back on the current thing. Yesterday, Glenn Beck goes on the Fox and Friends morning show, which is on the Fox News channel, and he outright calls Barack Obama a racist. And it just goes into demeaning the president. Now, I believe personally, and I have friends that are that have worked in the media, that have been journalists, that have done many things of that nature. And my belief is that you don't accuse a president, or that's an office that has respect, by the way. And yeah, we are Americans. We have the right to speak up against a president, unpopularness in our leaders, and that's the great thing about our American Constitution. But what my primary issue is that when you outright go and call somebody a racist without any proof, I have a problem with that. And this is something that is not just, I would say, not just on Fox, but I also saw this on various postings on YouTube. So I decided to come and put together a posting myself and just say what I've got to think on it. Number one, a lot of the people that are posting this are idiots, plain and simple. We're talking people that probably at most have a, dare I say, barely a high school education. We're not talking very intelligent people here. At least I've got a few years of college under my belt. I did get cert. I do have an associate's degree. I mean, I'm not saying that I went to a four-year school, but at least I have some education post-high school. So I know how the world operates. I know how government operates, but I also know how common sense operates. And what just riles me up so much about situations like this is there are people who are not just looking at this country and thinking, my God, what has happened to this country? We're supposed to be a country that we're sort of in this post-racism era that we're supposed to be a kindler, gentler country. We're supposed to start getting along, in the immortal words of Rodney King, can't we all just get along? It's not happening. I mean, and I think that a lot of it plays into human nature as well. I mean, it's one of those things that you could say that human nature is that we're going to stick to our old ways because it's comfortable. It's like old people using the N-word, or I've heard a lot of World War II vets, or even war vets, World War II vets using terms like I-type, Jerry, Vietnam vets using the term like gook, chink, things like that. I won't say the N-word because I don't believe that's a word that should be used, but I'm just using it as an example. And I guess for once, maybe we just need to get past all that BS and just finally get our shit together and become a better people. So, my message to Glenn Beck, you're a jackass. And sir, you're not a reporter, you're not a journalist, you're just a guy who failed at being a DJ and lucked out at getting his own syndicated radio show. So in my opinion, you're not funny, you're an idiot. Do me a huge favor, drop me something over on the, which way, I don't know, whatever way the comment box is. Also comment below. I got the links on the side, the comment box below. Let me know what you think. Take it easy, enjoy life. This is the Danger Nation signing out.